Yeah. Lotus is doing the most disrespectful thing he could ever do. And quite honestly, I'm gonna say this now. The what ifs I could not do, I'm actually gonna be deleting them. Like dead ass. I know I said I would delete some things. Yeah, I'm actually deleting them this time. Except for what if Deku was left behind. Cause that's the only one I feel like I could possibly try to get the pictures and do it. Cause I only have hopes for that one. What if Deku and Minoru were betrayed? Yeah, I'm deleting that one. Not because I didn't like it. Yeah, actually it was because I didn't like it. It was because of like the whole like plot setup and stuff like that, so yeah. So you don't have to worry about it. But for now, let's get on to this new what if. What if Issei was betrayed? No. What if Issei was betrayed the redo? I'm probably gonna be deleting it because mostly I don't like what if Issei was betrayed the redo. What if Tanjiro was betrayed? So like I want you guys to tell me like what powers or do you want the people to have? For this one, I honestly don't have the title. I honestly don't have the title for this one. I don't really have the title for this one. I don't have the title at all. Like, at all. Like, for this one, I have no title for this. I have no title for this whatsoever. Like, like I have no title for it whatsoever. Like if it's like if this was a book, like I'd only have the chapter, not the title of the book, just the chapter's names. Like this chapter, like this one video, like the whole chapter would be called the coma or the struggle, cause like this is basically what it's all about. Cause like I'm quite confused about what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know how it's gonna work. It's just gonna work like that. All right. So yeah. So let's roll off the character, shall we now? This is the new what if I was talking about that I put on my Instagram. I know, it's different pictures, right? Yeah, I never said I was going to use them same pictures. You shouldn't believe me. You should believe the parts that I'm going to be doing new what ifs. But don't expect me to expose the pictures like that. Bro, I'm not spoiling shit like that. But yeah, you will be getting updates on when I'm going to be doing a new what if. But like, still, you can't expect me to always give you like the picture that's actually going to be shown. So yeah. So this is Deku. Ship 1, Mina Ashido. Not a ship. Alright? I know, I said I was gonna be doing the nice people, but not ship. She's gonna be cheating on him, I guess? Yeah, cheating on him. Cheating and betraying him? Well, betraying his trust. Yes. Then, next ship. Momo Yayorozu. Quite honestly, in this one, she's gonna have like a little bit of blue hair because I like the blue tips. I'm not gonna lie, I never thought of this. I'm like, oh no. Like, when I saw this picture, I was like, yo, why didn't I think of this? So, yeah. Next ship, Nejire. I never said last ship yet. Don't worry. There's 6 ships. I think there's. I think there's 5 or 6. Let me check. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Kendo is the next ship. That's 4. Yeah, 5 ships. And the 5th ship is Monoma. You know, you may be wondering, Lotus, what is? Are you pulling this out your ass? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm pulling every second of this what if out of my ass. No, not even. Every millisecond. Every millisecond of this what if, I'm pulling it straight out my ass. Coming straight from the source. I'm pulling this straight out my ass. Not my brain, my ass. So, there's gonna be a lot of retarded shit, weird shit, and unbelievable shit. So yeah, now that we're done with ships, I swear I had that picture. Hold on. Alright, sorry for the momentary pause because I had to actually get the picture that was actually before the one you saw before the pause. So yeah. So, yes, enemy number 1 for Deku. Well, I wouldn't say enemy, but challenge 1 in his way of becoming the Deku he will be in the future is none other than the demon of death himself, the Grim Reaper. Yes, the Grim Reaper is a demon, if you didn't know that. The Grim Reaper is not the angel of death. He is the demon. He is a demon. He is the nephew of Satan. But in this one, Satan is not a he, but a she, so Satana. So yes. quite honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm quivering while saying this. Because I'm going against my religion itself just to do this with it for you guys. So my soul is quite quivering. It's actually quivering right now. Due to the fear of me dying in my sleep. Natural disaster killing me. Hell, might as well die from rain, right? Due to me going against my own religion. The possibility of you seeing me in the future will be really low after I do this. So, yeah. Point number 2. The angel of death. There's a difference. This is Azrael, the angel of death. Angel, not demon, angel, alright? Angel, the opposite of demon, angel. Yes, I'm using a different picture for this. Then, there is Jesus. You see why I said I'm going against my religion here? See, I'm a Christian. And I'm over here turning the whole personality of Jesus upside down. Which I shouldn't be doing. And I'm quite scared. I'm afraid. Alright, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Like, absolutely afraid. So, let's see if I could actually come back alive to wake up alive the next day. So, yeah. You know what? Let's just pray. I'm joking. Let's not do that. I'll do that before I post this. I'll pray before I post this and hope that I actually wake up tomorrow morning without dying. Whew. I hope God approves of me doing this. If he doesn't, guess I'm going to hell. Okay then. Because one of the 10 commandments happens to be, do not use the Lord's name in vain. And I will not be saying his name. If you know his name, you know his name. If you don't, you will do not. And it's not God. That's not his name. Alright? That's not his name. Alright? That's not his name. But still, using God is still in vain. So, yeah. And finally, Satana. Like I said, Satan is now female. So, yeah. So, I'll do my best to not fuck up this what if from pulling it out my ass like a total retard I am. So, probably by the time you get here, the videos that I want to delete will probably be gone. Same with the comments. I love you guys' comments. But I must have to delete them, and I apologize for that. I am truly sorry for those who have commented on those videos. I feel hurt having to hurt you all. So, yes. Is this okay? Yeah. So, let's start. You know, the story is gonna start when Izuku is 6. Alright, 6. He's getting bullied by Bakugo and stuff like that. And yeah, he's basically telling Bakugo to stop and stuff like that. And he's basically getting bullied. Now, today was a very special day. There was a new girl in class. And basically, Deku's sitting there with the scratches and bruises on him. And Uraraka immediately sees him. She's friends with Bakugo. She knew Bakugo before Deku and stuff like that. And stuff like that. So, yeah. So, you probably get where this is going, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a setup. Yes, wonderful setup, right? So, yeah. So, Deku. Alright. So she runs over to Deku and says, "Are you okay?" Pretending. Alright? Pretending. Alright? She's pretending. Alright? I want you to remember that. She's pretending. Those are not her true feelings. She is pretending. Oh, and for like, if I ever plan to do what if I was in My Hero Academia, I'll have elemental control, and my limit, like my drawback would be my emotions, because there are certain emotions I should not feel because they will impact on certain elements. So yes, but will I ever get to do that? Possibly, Do I want to? No. Why? Because of the ship. I was making the ship my hero, Midoriya. Female Midoriya. And she gets betrayed. Cause I never put myself in the place of the class when they're getting betrayed. Why? Cause I don't really care about the class. Niggas is irrelevant to me. Might as well have them niggas die in a ditch. Shit. Die in a hole for all I care. But anyways. So yeah, she pretends to be Deku's friend for a few months, I guess. Not years, but months. So remember, there's 6. So it's the day, it's like, I guess 5 months, because like their school, like to them, it's about, like their school started at like, September, and like, yeah, it's about, I'd say June. Like 2 days before Deku's birthday. So yeah, you can search up Deku's birthday. His birthday's in June. It's June something. I'm not searching it up because I'm too lazy to do that. You know your boy, he's too lazy. Unless he feels like he could do it real quick, he's not doing it. So yeah, like the only thing I could say I can do quick is thinking. But hey, right now that is not possible because I'm pulling this shit out my ass. So yeah. This is gonna be the hardest 1-hour video that I do. So, prepare yourself for cringe. Alright then. So, yeah, it's 2 days before his birthday. And Deku, he thinks he's gonna, well, confess to Uraraka to be his girlfriend, I guess? Yeah, girlfriend. At this time, he did know Momo, Mina, and stuff like that. He didn't know Minajire or Monoma or stuff like that. Well, he knew Mina, and Kendo. Not necessarily Nejire due to her being 2 grades above him. And I think it was 3, right? 2 or 3 grades. Yeah, 3 grades above him. Yes, because they're in high school, and there's 4 grades in high school, and they were seniors. So, yeah. So, due to her being 3 grades above Izuku. So, yeah. So she was currently 9, while Izuku was 6. And then there was, Monoma and Momo, who went to private high schools, since, well, they're rich. Monoma, she, was told to look down. Well, she was, well, always cherished by her family and told that, oh, shit, you're, like, better than everybody else and stuff like that due to her quirk and also, well, her wealth and status. So, yeah. So, he only knew, Kendo, Mina. Alright? And Uraraka. So, he confessed to Uraraka, and Uraraka, she started laughing. Like, take in mind, like, this was not in school time. This was not in school time. Like, school just finished, like, a few days ago, and stuff like that, so, yeah, they hang out in the summer, and stuff like that, so, and they're about to have summer camp soon. I'm joking, but Deku won't be going to that summer camp. Why? Because he'll be having tragic things happen to him. We're not gonna, like, listen to what happened, so, yeah. Deku had tragic things happen to him, and Deku won't be the same afterwards. So, yeah. Wonderful storyline, right? Nah, it's not. It's the worst. So, yeah. So, Deku. Uraraka, she starts bawling. She starts bawling out of laughter and stuff like that as she says, "You really think I would love a loser like you?" As Izuku says, "What?" As she's just laughing and stuff like that. As then she says, "Guys, you can come out now. He totally fell for it." As basically you see Bakugo and his goons come out laughing. As Bakugo says, "Damn, Deku, you really thought she liked you? Damn it. Oh, wow. This was a setup. I told her to pretend she liked you." As Uraraka says yeah. She goes and kisses Bakugo, breaking Izuku's heart into millions and billions of pieces, and breaking his view on the world, making him think that nobody in the world can be trusted due to their selfish desires. And quite honestly, that's my thought on the world too. Not because of the selfish desires, but because, well, don't trust anyone. Niggas will turn their back on you once your ass get into trouble with somebody you shouldn't. So yeah. So Deku, he does that. And he's sad. He's sad, right? And as he just walks home after getting beat up by Bakugo, his goons, and Uraraka, he got mentally tortured, physically, and yeah. So he's just walking home. As he goes home, and Inko sees him, and she says, "Izuku, are you okay?" As Izuku says, "I'm okay, Mom." As basically, Izuku took a shower and stuff like that, and he went to bed. Like I said, this is gonna be the most fucked up hour-long video that you have ever seen in your life. Whew. I'm not even speaking properly. I'm not even making the storyline properly. But anyways, as he's sleeping, Deku, he's having a seizure. He starts having a seizure in his sleep. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to disrespect Cameron Boyce, if that's what you're thinking, for those who liked him. He was one of my favorite actors as well. So please, do not come at me in the comments like, oh, you just wanted to make fun of Cameron Boyce because he had a seizure in his sleep. No, I do not. Yes, so don't worry. And quite honestly, I was looking forward to Descendant 4. That movie, all 3 parts were beautiful, but sadly, we can't have a Descendants 4. Because I really wanted to know what it looked like when all 8 of them had kids, and you know who the 8 are. I'm not going to say the 8, because I can't remember names. Yes, I can't remember names. We don't talk about that. Alright then, so he starts having a seizure in his sleep, as he's making a lot of noise. As Inko, she's wondering what's going on, because Inko, she stayed up. She was doing some work. Yeah, she was doing some paperwork. Paperwork for what? I don't know. Just think of some random job that has to do with a laptop or some shit like that. So yeah, she hears the noise as she basically goes upstairs and says, "Izuku, are you okay?" And sees he's having a seizure. Now the first thing she thinks of, I'm calling the hospital, and that's actually the right thing to do. She's calling the hospital. Now by the time she called the hospital, Izuku, he's already asleep. Well, not asleep, but in a comatose state. Not comatose exactly, but a limbo state. The limbo state is basically when you're between life and death. Sort of like when you're between heaven and hell as well. But we're always between heaven and hell. So, yeah. So Deku, he's in a limbo state at the moment. Now, he won't meet the certain people that he'll be fighting. Well, copying. Until he gets to the hospital. Now, the hospital come rushing in. Alright, they come rushing in. As they go to Izuku's room, they pick him up, and they do their work real quick. Take him into the truck, they're checking his pulse and stuff like that. They see that his pulse is really weak and stuff like that. As they take him to the hospital immediately. Immediately. Now, take in mind, Uraraka, Bakugo, and friends don't know about this. At all. Now, they're checking Izuku's, like, facial structures and stuff like that. They're checking his bones and stuff like that to see if there's anything wrong with him that would cause him to have, well, a seizure. As they check his mental state. I don't know how, they just do with a quirk. As, there was this doctor with a quirk that can check somebody's mental state. Sure, it wasn't useful. It wasn't useful as being here, but still, it was useful as a doctor or a therapist or stuff like that. As there was one that had emotional state as well. Mental state, emotional state is two different things to me. All right, I'm not gonna lie. So they each check as mental state. He's mentally broken. He's shattered. His view on the world is he should not trust anyone, no matter who the person is, not even his own mother. And then the one that is emotional, he's depressed. He's depressed and anymore. As they're wondering why is he so depressed, as they don't know what, as they're basically arguing amongst themselves, and then this random dude that they have never seen before. They don't know anything about him. Like he just got recently hired. They know nothing about him. He's kind of like the quiet kid at the job, as he just pushes them aside as he goes to Izuku inside his head. He has the ability to see somebody's memories, as he's actually kind of like a part-time interrogation type. Kind of works for the police force and heroes as well, because he checks their memories as well. So he checks Izuku's memories. Like, he can only do it if they give him consent or they're knocked unconscious. So he can't do it when they're like with villains that are well awake, because they'll obviously deny having him look at their past. As he looks inside of Deku's memories and he sees the thing that Uraraka and friends did to him, as he basically explains what happens, and basically Inko hears about this, and she is furious. She is furious. She is boiling with hatred, anger, many more. She has malicious intent. She has Black Air Force energy in her mind right now. She has some Black Air Force ideas in her head to do to Mitsuki Bakugo, Masaru Bakugo, and Katsuki Bakugo. And he heard about the Uraraka chick, bro. She had some extra juicy Black Air Force energy for her, because she was the main one that broke his heart. So Inko, while thinking of that Black Air Force energy, she says, nah, I'm not gonna do it, because if I did, Izuku would be sad, because he'd see me go to jail. Well, no, I'm in jail when he wakes up. So Inko, not wanting to have her precious baby boy Izuku Midoriya feel sad, she says, alright, fuck it. Alright, just move on with my life. He'll definitely wake up. I trust in Izuku's willpower to live, and we should be focused on that. Yeah, Izuku has extraordinary willpower to live. His willpower to live is extraordinary. It's even strong enough to topple the gods themselves. I'm gonna be honest with you. All the gods that are stated, like the Norse gods, Greek gods, Jewish gods, Chinese gods, I don't think they exist. Alright, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't think they exist. But still, I find it funny that the retarded thinks they do. So, we don't talk about them. I don't think they exist, but still, the things that they do is somewhat funny. I don't acknowledge their existence, but such things happen in life. Alright, so yeah. So Izuku has extraordinary willpower that topple the gods themselves. As right now, Izuku, he's in this black space. Well, not really black, but gray. As he's being pulled, as he feels like he's walking away. As he looks up and sees this hand holding him as they're just walking. As Izuku pulls his hand and starts running to Inko. As all of a sudden, black chains are on him. As Deku says, no, I'll go back to mommy. As Izuku struggles. He struggles with the demon of death, the Grim Reaper, the conqueror of souls. As the Grim Reaper says, he'll get tired immediately. As he pulls even harder. But Izuku's will to live is so strong, it even surprises the Grim Reaper that he's putting a fight up against him. Now, Izuku, he does eventually get tired. And the Grim Reaper is like, it's my chance. But what he saw frightened, shocked, and left him in disbelief. What he saw behind Izuku was himself. was his determination to take Izuku, but in the opposite way. It was Izuku imitating him, but wanting to go back to the land of the living. As his eyes, even though he is a skeleton, his skeletal facial structures, it widened as he says, "What is this boy? And how was he able to imitate my will, my ability, my power?" As Izuku, lying on the floor, pulls as he crawls to Inko. As the Grim Reaper, he gets tired and takes out his scythe to take Izuku, turning him into a soul to then give to God to choose whether he goes to heaven or hell. But Izuku, out of sheer instinct, dodges, not catches it, but dodges it, because he's yet far too weak to go against the Grim Reaper. As Deku continuously struggles and crawls as he's getting attacked by the Grim Reaper. As Deku, he then tries to tackle the Grim Reaper. Izuku, by this time, just 1 year outside has been at least 1,000,000 years for Izuku fighting for his freedom, his life to continue. So Deku, like I said, he's in a state between life and death, and heaven and hell. Izuku does not know where he is, what he's doing here. All he knows is that he has to get to where the light is. As Izuku, he fights for many years. He fights when he has no food to eat. He fights on hunger, thirst, being tired, sleepy. Because he does not sleep, eat, drink, or anything. Because he sees that if he does, that's a moment of vulnerability. And he can get taken. And if he eats, he can get poisoned or knocked out due to the serum that's inside of the food. Or drinking could do the same. The aroma of the drink can put him to sleep. So he doesn't trust himself falling asleep or anything. So he just fights. So Izuku, he forces his willpower, making the willpower of the Grim Reaper even bigger. Forcing himself to stand when he does not have the strength to stand, as he continuously struggles with the Grim Reaper. Now, 500,000 years into struggling with the Grim Reaper, Izuku starts to notice that around him there is this black energy. This black and blue energy around them. As Deku doesn't know what it is, but he says, "I need to control it to get out," or something like that. Or to at least have a fair chance. Now, Deku, he tries to at least suck it into his body, but that causes him to feel massive pain as he spits out blood. Now, Izuku, he's currently fighting with the Grim Reaper and many more. Now, Izuku's body grew at least 2-3 inches. 2-3 inches since, well, he's currently 7 years old now in his, well, outside body. Now, wait, no, he's not. Yeah, he's 7. Sorry. Because his birthday already passed. It was 2 days after he had the seizure. No, 1 day after he had the seizure. So, yeah, that happened. Now, but we skip to a week in the outside after Izuku was in the hospital. Inko was at home trying her best to get money so she can pay off Izuku's hospital fee. As she hears a knock on the door, and she opens the door to see Mitsuki Bakugo, to which she immediately slams her door out of rage and anger. As Mitsuki, she keeps knocking on the door, as Inko, she's getting more and more annoyed, irritated, and pissed, as she says, "What do you want?" As Mitsuki says, I'm sorry for Izuku. As she slaps Mitsuki. As Mitsuki does not know what's wrong. As she says, what was that for? As Inko says, your son's the reason my son is in the hospital. As she says, what? As basically, you see Inko explaining to Mrs. Bakugo what's happening. Hold on. So yeah, as Mitsuki, while hearing everything, how Izuku has felt happiness and stuff like that, and she was told about the bullying too from Bakugo and his goons, as she felt anger, rage towards her own son, her blood, her own creation. Hold on. Hey, I feel like this nigga is psychic. Okay. Well, anyways, so Deku. Wait, no. As she's hearing how Izuku went from a state of sadness, heartbroken from not being able to have a quirk, to feeling a little happiness in his life due to his mom being there for him, to then having it all being crushed by Bakugo and his goons planning stuff with Uraraka to make him fall into a trap and just destroying him completely when he was most vulnerable. As when she gets home, she apologizes to Inko, she goes to the hospital, she prays for Izuku to come back safely and stuff like that. As she goes home, and immediately, the moment she sees Katsuki walk up to her, she slaps him out of anger. As Bakugo says, what? As Masaru goes to grab her. As basically, as Masaru says, what are you doing? As she says, he's the fucking reason why Izuku's in the hospital. As Masaru says, what? As she doesn't have time to explain due to her anger and she's not calm at the moment. As Masaru says, wait, you can explain it later. At least calm yourself first. Katsuki, go to your room, you're grounded. I want to hear her explanation, and depending on her explanation, depends on whether you being grounded gets longer or not. As this is the first time that this is Katsuki and Mitsuki were actually surprised, but mostly Mitsuki. Because she's been with Mitsuki since middle school, and not once has she ever seen him pissed, or at least try to stand up for himself or anyone. As it's not like she likes this even better, but still, she's surprised. She's in utter shock. As basically, he explained, then we skip to an hour later of after Masaru has heard the explanation. He is pissed beyond compare. He is pissed beyond compare as he yells, Katsuki! As immediately, Bakugo, who was in his room playing with All Might figures and stuff like that, gets a shock down his spine. As he immediately runs down the stairs and says, what do you want, old man? As Masaru says, you're grounded until Izuku gets up. As he says, what do you mean? Izuku's perfectly fine. As he says, no, he's not. He's in the hospital in a limbo state between life and death because of you and your friends. As Bakugo says, what? As basically, he goes to his room out of a fit of anger, just hearing that he is to blame for everything that happens to Izuku, thinking that damn nerd, I'm not the reason he's weak. As basically he goes running to his room as he's throwing a tantrum and stuff like that, as Mitsuki is thinking of going upstairs and baiting his shit to make him actually shut up. But Masaru says no. He'll realize the errors of his mistakes in the future. But until then, don't do anything. As she says, fine. So, from that day forward, Inko, Masaru, or Mitsuki, they barely talk to Bakugo. They only talk to Bakugo about schoolwork, him eating and stuff like that. So, him wanting to be a hero, they never encouraged him or anything like that. They never encouraged him. So, Mitsuki, she never hit Bakugo or anything like that. So, that temper of his went down due to him lacking affection from his parents. As the only reason he got that cockiness was being praised. Now, he still has that cockiness, but not as high since his parents are not there to back him up. So, and they're the people that should be backing him up the most. As that happens, Inko, she never talks to Bakugo. Anytime Bakugo tries to talk to Izuku, she does not talk to Bakugo. She actually passes by him like he doesn't even exist, like he's a ghost. So one day, Bakugo actually got pissed and says, "Why are you ignoring me?" As Inko says, "Well, why is my son in the hospital?" As Bakugo, he got quiet immediately. As moments later, he yells, so yeah, as Katsuki says, "It's not my fault that damn Deku is weak." As Inko hears this, she immediately goes to Katsuki and slaps him. As she says, "Don't ever call my son useless and weak." As she storms off. As Bakugo does not understand what's going on around him. As now, nobody has heard about Deku's disappearance. They just thought, oh, he switched and Uraraka thinks, oh, he switched because of what happened. She doesn't know about anything like that. As Mina and Kendo are wondering, what happened to Izuku? So, they won't know about it until, well, in middle school. So, yeah. So, let's get back to Deku. Deku, he's been fighting and trying to, well, understand this energy around him. So yeah. So as they do that, and yeah, so they're fighting, and Izuku, he's been coughing up blood, like minute after minute after minute after minute. Like Izuku's resilience is not like giving up, and the Grim Reaper didn't notice this, like at all, like at all. Like there was nothing that he knew at all. As like the Grim Reaper didn't know this at all, but Izuku, he was copying his moves. He was not using them since he didn't have his ability to take the dark energy around them, but still. So Deku, he fights him for Izuku, he's currently set. He died at 6. So until they're at least 20, so 14 years. 14 years, and how much people is it? There's 4, right? Alright, there's 14 years. I'll do 12 years. Alright, 12 years, 3 years for each people, and the remaining 2 years, it's 1 year for the demons, 1 year for the angels. Alright, then I got everything prepared. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. God damn it, hold on. Alright, so Deku, whilst he was fighting him, like at least when they made the point to at least 1,500,000 years, 1,500,000 years, the Grim Reaper, he was fighting Izuku, and suddenly he felt this flash of fear. He felt this sudden fear as he looked closely at Izuku, and what he saw shocked him, because he didn't have time to see it until he looked at Izuku, as he saw chains in his hand, as he traced back to where the chains were, as he looked and saw that they were on his wrists, as he was like, what? Ow! As he then looked at Izuku and saw that he became an exact replica of himself. As the Grim Reaper, he walked backwards out of shock, as in fear, as he wasn't going on loud, but still, to be able to imitate his moves in such a short period of time. And he was actually the strongest Reaper of all the Grim Reapers, which shocked him even more, as he started going full power. Now, take in mind, the two have been quite fighting each other one by one. So Izuku, his speech has been rather forgotten. He doesn't talk anymore. He doesn't know how to talk after not being able to talk for many years. Normally for people, if you don't talk for at least 10 years, you'd forget how to speak, or at least your language that you speak in and the language around you. But Izuku, it's been 1,500,000 years. So Izuku, he has it bad, since he can't fully remember his, language, as he's fighting him, as Izuku, he's getting pushed back, pulled forward, as he says, God damn it, as he's thinking that in his head. Sure, he's not able to say it, but he's thinking it, because his mind has been active the whole time, as he's thinking, damn it, I need to reinforce the chains and make them stronger. So instead of letting it leave, instead of doing it like the Grim Reaper, who has the dark energy of death surrounding him, making it like a cloak for him, Izuku, he doesn't do that. As Izuku, he just continue fighting him. So yeah, hold on. Alright, I'm back. So as Izuku, he reinforces it, as Deku, he can't really do the things that he plans to do with the angels, Jesus, and stuff not really Jesus, but the angel and Satana, but he doesn't know how it's gonna work. Still, he tries his best, as Izuku, he's basically fighting on par with him after they reach the mark of 2 million years. As he notices this, but he also notices that by the year, Izuku is getting stronger and stronger. So what he does is summon other Reapers to fight Izuku, as they're using all of their weapons. As Izuku, he's thinking, damn it, I need to use other weapons. As he sees some with scythes, sickles, spears, bows, many more. As Deku, he can't clone himself or anything. He's just copying the weapons. As Deku's thinking, damn it, how do I clone myself? Shit, I could possibly make one. As he doesn't know how to clone himself. As he sees his shadow. As he says, hey, isn't that darkness? And it's an exact replica of me. As he decides, I'll give my shadow physical form. Hold on. So yeah, hold on. As Deku, he's fighting and fighting and fighting. Because remember, Deku's fighting for his life. He made a clone of his shadow. Now, after he does that, his shadow gets the shadow now. Since he no longer has a shadow of his own. As he's just fighting, sure, there was no light to seep in. Well, not exactly the brightest light, but there was enough brightness for him to, well, see his shadow. And that was the brightness of heaven and the way to, well, live. To the living world. As Deku, he continuously fought those Reapers. Just two of him against millions of them. As by the time he gets to 3 million years, he has as much clones as there are the Reapers. As he's just fighting them and fighting them and fighting them. I wouldn't say that he's exactly the strongest of them all, since every time he clones himself, his power gets separated. So it's kind of like Meliodas' thing, Meliodas' clones. So his power gets split in two if he has two clones. So Izuku, he has his power split into millions, which means he goes back to how he was when he was a baby. So he has to build up his strength again and again. But he does it rather quickly. So then, all of a sudden, they're trembling. Not exactly trembling, but rumbling of the ground and thunder and lightning being hit up. And all of a sudden, ice spears just appear, trying to attack as just killing Izuku's clones. As Deku doesn't know what's going on, as he looks up, as all of a sudden the Grim Reaper looks up too, as the Grim Reaper hears a voice that says, Grimmy, my cousin, what are you doing? As, no, Grimmy, my nephew, what are you doing? Stop playing around with this boy. As the Grim Reaper, he says, Uncle Azrael, I'm not playing with him. His willpower to live is extraordinary. As he says, as if. We shall see about that. As Azrael, he immediately starts sending ice beams, ice at Izuku, trying to hit him. As Izuku, he's having a hard time dodging it, since Azrael's ice is being formed out of nowhere. As Izuku doesn't know what's going on, as Azrael's ice is being formed out of nowhere. Not only that, it makes it even harder since he has 2 extra arms shooting fire at high speeds as well. As he says, the worst part is he has the Book of Death, which scares Izuku even more. So, Izuku, he's trying to fight Azrael, but he sees that if he gives Azrael too much time, it'll be destructive. He could die in an instant. But what he doesn't know is that Azrael, for the time that he's been fighting for the Grim Reaper, has been writing Izuku's name in his Book of Death over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But Izuku would not die. And that's because of his will, his strength, his belief in him getting back to the world of the living. As Azrael is pissed, he got fed up with this, as he decided to go down, in which we are here now. As Azrael's going after Izuku, he's after him, he's after his ass. As Izuku, he doesn't know how to feel. He feels targeted, is one thing, but still. It's as if he's fighting gods on different levels. He's fighting catastrophe type levels that could destroy possibly universes, multiverses, omniverses, hell, even existence itself. as Izuku is just copying their abilities, like, after one another. As basically, Izuku, he's basically fighting Azrael, as he got hit with he got scratched by Azrael's ice, as it started growing on him, as he notices, damn, this ice is so cold that just scratching me can inflict damage. As basically he's fighting Azrael, as Azrael's not giving him any openings whatsoever. As Izuku, he thinks, damn it, I can't do anything. This fire is burning away my shadows. Damn it. As he thinks, wait, there was this one thing with a doctor that takes the blood or at least the DNA of somebody. But that's up to luck, or chance, that is. As Izuku, he says, he looks up, as he knows that there's at least God up there, or at least Jesus, watching him. As they are watching him very closely. As Izuku says, well then, God, this risk, I put it all in you. As God, or Jesus, he was surprised hearing this. Why? Because the whole time, Izuku has been fighting the Grim Reaper and Azrael. He has not said a peep about him or any other god other than him, or at least the false gods that are known to man. As, hold on. As he smirks, as says, I can't just have you leaving my grasp in heaven, so I'll give you a little bit of chance. Your chances are at least 10 to 90. 90% failure and 10% success. Or, matter of fact, I'll make it different. 0.001% succession, as 99.999% is him failing. As see, once Deku gets the powers of Azrael, it'll be stronger than Azrael's itself, but Deku has to train it to actually understand it and get it stronger. So Deku he basically makes a syringe. He basically makes a syringe and fills it up with dark energy. His dark energy. Because he had to take the dark energy that's naturally supplied from the area, as he stabs it into Azrael's back, into one of his blood vessels, as into one of his veins or bloodstreams. As Deku, he squeezes the syringe, and it wasn't that big of, it was like twice the size of a regular syringe. As it's basically, as Izuku, he let it fuse with some of his blood, as he basically just took it into Azrael's body. And he just took it and it fused with Azrael's blood. Now, not really fused, but encased it in a ball of shadows. So, it just separately comes out of Azrael's body, one by one, and it hides in the shadow to get back to Izuku. As Izuku, he has exactly 1 billion drops of Azrael's blood. As Izuku, he continuously, for exactly 2 million years, just tries to get the power. He's fighting the two while bleeding. As Azrael, while fighting him, notices that his will as the Grim Reaper has gotten stronger, and stronger. As he's fighting an angel himself. As behind the Grim Reaper, he starts seeing something. He starts seeing wings appear. He sees 4 pairs of wings appear. As he says, What? as he says that's impossible. Is it his will of that of Grim Reapers? How is it an angel? As basically Izuku, he's basically fighting him. As this was the last drop that Izuku had. As he says, damn it. This is the last drop. Oh god damn it, 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 damn it. My bad. So, as Izuku says, this is the last drop of blood I have. After failing at least 999,999,999 times. This is my only hope. As he's been caught, he's basically in a pool of blood. Alright? As basically Izuku, his mental state is tired. He is mentally exhausted, alright? But he proceeds to fight. Alright, he is mentally exhausted. And he like, alright, I'm gonna make this clear. Before, I was confused about how Saitama got this power. Cause this is kind of based off of like the whole Saitama theory I came up with. Cause like we were wondering, the whole things can't do that, but it actually can. See, when you do a workout, it rips your muscle tissues. So the reason Saitama is stronger because his muscle tissues never actually heal, since he says he does it every day. They never actually heal. More of they get torn up even more, which makes it even harder for him to actually show his true strength. So seeing Saitama at 100% power is not gonna happen in the series. Yeah, it's not gonna happen since his muscles never actually get fully healed. So, yeah. But anyways, Izuku, he does that. Like, he it's the same thing with Saitama. His muscle tissues are being broken due to the extreme fight that he's having with those guys. Now, he's just fighting, and fighting. As basically, he just continues to fight them without endless stopping, as he then proceeds to inject the last drop of blood inside of him. As all of a sudden, this light shines around him. As he says, what? Did it work? As all of a sudden, Deku falls on his knees while fighting, as Azrael says, ha, we finally got him. Now, boy, die. As all of a sudden, Izuku, he yells out in pain, which startles Azrael and, well, the demon of death, also known as, well, you know his name, the Grim Reaper. Cause Izuku has not talked once, and hearing him speak is surprising for some reason, as they just yelling as they're trying to subdue him. You take in mind the Reapers are there, like the Angel of Death and stuff like that. As then up in heaven, Jesus smiles and says, guess it happened, huh? Anyways, let's see. Let's see how this plays out. As basically, Izuku, he starts yelling in pain. As Azrael and Demon of Death don't know what's going on, but then the Grim Reaper points at something, as out of shock, as Azrael says, what are you pointing at? As he looks at where he's pointing, and it's Izuku's back. As he says, what is that? As what you see on Izuku's back is basically wings. Angel wings, to be precise. Wings the same as Azrael, but instead of the feathers being black, they're white. To the point where they could even blind the the darkest of nights, to actually lighten up the darkest of nights, as Azrael says, what's going on? As all of a sudden, Izuku, two hands pop out from Izuku's side. Well, one from each side, basically. As two hands on the bottom go to Izuku's back. Which, that thing that's in Azrael's hand, yeah. It's on, it's on the back. It's doing that on the back. But instead of it being in the Book of Life and Death, Izuku doesn't have that. Instead, the Book of Life and Death actually fused with Izuku's mental state. As it's just there, just poking into nothingness that looks like air that it's poking into, but it's not. It's actually poking into something else. It was poking into Izuku's will. As Azrael looks and sees a combination between him and the Grim Reapers, as the ring that's around Azrael's neck is around Izuku's, as Izuku's hair is flowing upwards, like the thing you see as Azrael's head is flowing upwards, as dark energy is being flowed, like going backwards, as Azrael's like, what? As Izuku, while yelling, he gets up in pain, which makes it even worse for his body to get accumulated to his power, since he just recently got it, as he shoots his hand up, and all of a sudden, ice just appears, hurting the Grim Reapers, not killing them, but hurting them. But then, Izuku accidentally puts his hand up once, and it kills the Grim Reaper. As this goes on for at least the next million years, or 500,000 years, since he was at 5,500,000 years. As basically, he does that. Now, we skip to hell with Satana. As all of a sudden, a demon barges in and says, Lord Satana, there's an issue. As Satana says, what is it? As he says, our Reapers, they're being killed. As she says, what? As she proceeds, says, who is killing them? As they said, we don't know. We just know that there's a mass amount of energy of the Reapers in this specific area. As she says, fine, I'll go. As she goes to that area immediately. As she says, charge up the demon army, get them ready. As basically, she takes a horde of at least 500 billion demons to the area. As the army of angels is much bigger. It's practically infinite. But shit, we don't know that for sure. Hold on. But hey, in this one, there's infinite of angels and infinite of demons. She's just blankly underestimating Izuku, alright? She's just underestimating Izuku's abilities, alright? She's just underestimating him highly. She looks down on him, basically. So she didn't bring no heavenly kings or anything, not no high-class demons, possibly like mid-ranks and low-ranks, but no high-class demons. So, basically, they go there and they see this kid that looks like Azrael, or at least somewhat like him, just fighting off the Grim Reaper, the Reaper's Azrael, and she says, charge! As all of a sudden, Azrael and the Grim Reaper looks and says, auntie, as Azrael says, sister, as basically the demons, the 100 billion demons charge at his... I said 500 billion, right? Yeah, 500 billion. Sorry. The 500 billion demons charge at Izuku. Basically, at least 100 billion of them are close-range fighters. So Izuku, already in his tired, bloodied state, is basically dodging and fighting them close range. As Deku's thinking, alright then, I could try that. Now, Izuku, he noticed how Azrael's ice is at least 1 million degrees Kelvin. As Deku, he says, I'll make it colder. To the point where Izuku, he makes it... Hold on. Never mind. As he makes it at least... He's doing this uncontrollably. He won't be able to control this. But still. So, Izuku made it so that his internal body heat is at least 1 quadrillion times hotter than at least a yellow giant. And them niggas is big too. They're actually one of the biggest stars. As it's hotter than those, like 1 quadrillion times that, so that he's able to do what he's about to do. He amps up Azrael's cold, frostbitey type ice to at least 100 trillion degrees Kelvin, or is it negative Kelvin? I don't know. Tell me in the comments, because I know negative of temperature makes it colder, but Kelvin's differently. I don't understand it, but okay, we don't talk about that though. So yeah, so Deku, he does that, and basically he's fighting them off close range, long range, and stuff like that. Some are even using magic, which Deku doesn't even know existed. He says, what? There's magic? As he says, I've only been using enchanting my whole body with this and stuff like that. As Deku says, maybe I should try the same thing I did with Azrael with them. As God says, that's sad. As he says, well then, Izuku. So, now he made it so that Izuku's possibility of actually succeeding even worse. He made it 0, it's 99.99999% failure. Izuku only has 0.00001% chance of succeeding, as he does the same thing with his shadows to the angels that are using magic, since he can't really fight Satana, since she's one of the strongest opponents that he's ever faced. Satana doesn't jump in because she doesn't think that, well, he's worthy to actually fight her. As Izuku, she notices that he's just well, vomiting and stuff like that, and so she says, ew, that's disgusting. But then as they're fighting, she starts to notice that Izuku's getting other elements, and she's like, what? As then she looks behind Izuku, and she sees that his willpower has gotten even bigger, as Azrael and the Grim Reaper by this point is frightened. The one that should be scaring people is frightened himself. The epitome of fear and death, alone, grief, is fearful of something, which even the angels watching are shocked about. As none of them can see Izuku's willpower, since they're not exactly fighting him head-on. It's only those that are fighting him head-on can see his determination to get back to the living world. Now, take in mind, about this time, it's been exactly 6 years. It's been 6 years. Which means Izuku... what the hell? Hold up. 3 and 3 is... Yeah, Izuku has spent 3 years outside. Yeah, I'm sorry. He spent 6 years outside, and... Yeah, I get it now. Alright. So Izuku, he is now 12 years old. Alright, sorry. I couldn't think of anything. He's 12 years old right now. And Izuku, he's just fighting, and fighting onwards, not stopping in anything like that. As basically, he's fighting even further. He's pushing himself to the limit and stuff like that. As Satana looks at his willpower, as she sees many versions of him just backing him up, as if it's a whole army of the same person, the same personality, the same judgment, the same point of view, just going. As she's shocked, because she never knew that such a willpower existed to live. As she just thought that he would have given up by now, knowing that he's fighting at least 500 billion, as she's shocked to notice that he has not lost an ounce of willpower or hope or anything like that. It's even made him more hopeful, knowing that the more challenges in the way of him, if he successfully gets back, the higher chance that he'll be able to go back to his world. And Jesus, or God, watching up there and is quite happy. Well, the Jesus side. The God side, well, let me read a verse for y'all from the Bible. Hold on, because I swear I highlighted it. Hold on. Let me find it. Yes. This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 13. Alright? It states, this is the easy to read version on the Bible. My friends, I know that people are causing you to have bad trouble. It is like a fire that is burning you. Do not be surprised about that. These things are happening to you to show whether you really trust God. So do not think that something strange is happening to you. So yeah. So basically, that means that the things that happen to us, like the things like, family members dying or us feeling depression and stuff like that, it's actually a test from God to show our faith to him. And Izuku, I wouldn't say he read that verse, he heard about it. He definitely heard about it. And his eyes were open as he's thinking that. As basically that's the God side, just putting Izuku through these hardships. So yeah, as basically he's fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. To the point where Izuku's wings, they started getting bigger and he started growing more wings. As Satan, she's shocked. And she's like, what? Impossible. As Izuku's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And he's already throwing blast the size of the sun at the demons, and they're able to withstand it. As he's doing world breaking, universal breaking, like planet clashing with planet type stuff. And he's able to withstand the attacks of each angel and demon. Not a lot of them, but he's able to withstand some hits. Now, Izuku, he's healing himself with the shadows. He's just he's not really healing himself, but covering himself in the shadows to actually make himself, feel less pain. It's as if, it's kind of like the KCM cloak of Naruto, but not. It's kind of like a skin suit, just protecting him. So, if you wonder what Deku's gonna look like afterwards, he's not gonna look like Jesus, but, the clothes style is gonna be like Jesus. Because I like this, alright? His clothes style is like Jesus. His hair. His hair is gonna be like that, but a little longer. Like, his hair is gonna be longer. He's not gonna have the piercings, so don't worry about that. Oh yeah, his eyes are dead. Like, his hair is gonna be longer. Kind of like Madara length hair. Madara and Hashirama length hair, but not like as spiky as Madara's and as, straight as Hashirama's. Kind of like how you see it in the picture. So, yeah. Because Izuku don't have time to cut that hair of his, and plus he doesn't feel like it. So Izuku, he's just fighting them, which his hair being long as hell makes it harder for him to evade the hits, since most of them are pulling his hair to get to him. So Izuku has to fight, so that's why he has to actually strengthen his elements, and he continues to strengthen them without actually mastering the elements. As the elements he's mastered are almost every element except for, well, he hasn't mastered any of the elements, to be exact. He only has control over them, but not mastered them. The only element he does not have mastery over is, well, holy element, or the element of God, or basically things like golden flames, golden water, and stuff like that. So, yeah. So he's basically fighting him, and he's fighting him beyond compare. He's fighting them and fighting them and fighting them and fighting them and fighting them. As the angels are seeing his wings growing, they're wondering, huh? That's not how our wings grow, so how is his growing bigger than ours and more than ours? So by this point, Izuku, he has more than at least 100 wings. And his 100 wings are not even attached to his back anymore. His 100 wings are just floating behind him. They're like projections. You can see them, but you can't touch them. It's kind of like that. So, Izuku, his wings... Oh, wow. Sorry. Ow. Like, Izuku... He's gonna have two hollows. Two halos, actually. He's gonna have this one, which you see in the picture of what Izuku looks like right here. And he's gonna have the halo around Azrael's neck, which you see right here. And it's around Izuku's neck. So yeah. So, Izuku, he tries, like, he's basically fighting the angels and stuff like that, as basically 1,500,000 years into fighting, Satana, she notices that Izuku's getting closer to her, and it's too close for comfort, as she yells out, "Bring the whole demon army." And that is an army of infinites of demons. Infinites. Alright? That means low class, mid tier, high tier, mid high tier, the highest tier, even the 4 heavenly kings who have mastered and brought their abilities to the pinnacle of their limitations, as they're basically going and going and going. So, they're basically fighting Izuku, as Izuku, he's fighting them and stuff like that. Now, one thing I've always wondered is, what is Adam and Eve in hell or heaven? But in this one, they're going to be in hell. It doesn't matter whether they go to heaven or hell, but still, they're going to hell due to the fact of what they did in the Garden of Eden. So, yeah. And so is Cain, and Abel went to heaven. So, yeah. So, the reason Cain went to hell was because of his curse. After he killed Abel, I think, yeah, Abel and stuff like that, the curse that everything he touches will die and stuff like that. The only he will have no one that loves him, and if he ever gets attacked, the same curse will be put on the person that attacks him. So, that curse is going to be put on Izuku as well. But after he fights God, he's going to have it taken off him. Well, not have it taken off, but he's going to forcibly take it off himself. So, yeah. So, basically, the angels come, and whilst fighting them, he hits Cain. Which, God sees this as, he says, "Jesus, give him the curse." As Jesus says, "Right away, Father." As all of a sudden, a mark appears on... Hold on. As all of a sudden, this mark appears on Izuku's head. As Izuku he notices this and he says, "What is this?" As Izuku sees it on his soul as well, due to him having a connection with his soul, as all of a sudden he starts feeling this tremendous pain. Since Izuku has never killed a person, God decided to make it so that he feels immense pain instead of the suffering of the soul, instead of the suffering that Cain felt after he killed Abel, which was hearing the voice of Abel continuously ask him why he killed him. So, yeah. So, I'm really bringing my religion into this. But hey, such is life, right? I hope you learned something from this. So that's happening, and Izuku's feeling immense pain, soul-wise, physical-wise, mentally as well, as he's just pushing through all the pain he's feeling. And this pain is immense, not like any of the pain that he's felt before. And the pain gets worse when he starts to get used to it too. So Izuku, he's feeling immense pain. As Izuku, he's getting closer to Satana, who's actually in her battle armor right now. Well, not battle armor, but she's ready for battle. She's battle ready. As she charges at Izuku, as she's fighting him. And she's immensely strong, which is making it worse for Izuku. Which Izuku's not having it, and it hurts as hell. So Izuku, he's fighting her and fighting her and fighting her, barely able to hold on. But Izuku, he doesn't care. He says, "Oh, fine." As basically, he does the same thing he did to Azrael with the blood thing. But this time, instead of 1 billion, he went higher. Because he notices that God makes the chance of him actually succeeding in something even worse. He goes for at least a quadrillion, and he was right. God made it so that his possibilities of success are now 0.0000000001%, as then his possibilities of failure is 99.999999999%, as he proceeds to do the same thing. And basically, it's when they actually reached the 9 million mark, to which Izuku actually gets the success, as he starts glowing. This time, he glows a reddish color, as Satano's wondering what's going on. As Izuku, he smirks slightly, as he proceeds to punch Satana, sending her flying, which shocked all the demons, as all of a sudden, Izuku's yelling in pain. As all of a sudden, a demon tail popped out. This, instead of it being like Satana's, which is a point, or a point, is it a point or an arrow? It's actually a heart arrow. Like that part, the arrow part is the arrowhead part. It's actually a heart for him, since he's never really done anything bad. As he grows horns, but his horns are longer than Satana's. They have the same style, as you see right here, but they're longer and much bigger. And they're not exactly on his head. They're surrounding his head, actually. They're surrounding his head. So yeah, it's surrounding his head. He has 2 of them, big. Each horn is at least, I'd say, about... and he has a third one in the middle. Each horn is about like, the one in the middle is at least 12 inches or 1 foot tall. And the 2 side ones are at least 10 inches, alright? So yeah. So it's 10 inches. As she says, "What? How does he have bigger horns than me?" As As Izuku's thirst for battle to actually get back to his human world made it so that he evolved immediately after, but his body is not accumulated to his power, so he has to continuously fight over and over again to get it. So he's fighting an infinite number of demons and reapers and stuff like that. So Izuku, he's fighting them as he's just fighting, and fighting. As then he comes across the four heavenly kings as he does the same thing. Now, since it's the four heavenly kings, Izuku decides, shit, this is gonna be worse since, well, there are four different types of people that can take on Satana at once. And God, he doubled it. So this time, it was 0.1901% failure and 99.29s and percent of failure. The succession was that percent before that. Sorry. So yeah, because like I said, your boy's pulling this out his ass. So yeah, so he does that, and he took at least a quintillion of their blood as he proceeds to do that. And it was after, like, he took a quintillion of each, so he has 4 quintillion blood to go to. And he's putting in the blood in each different places. So the four heavenly kings have four different elements, the four natural elements: fire, water, air, and earth. So Izuku, he does this. He's putting earth in his legs, fire in his arms, air in his chest. Well, no, not really air itself. He's putting water in his veins or his blood vessels and stuff like that, and he's putting air in his lungs. So yeah, he has so he does that, and he succeeds. And the first thing he does with the air is he makes a little ball of air in each lung to make it so that it's easier for him to breathe, since he doesn't have to take big huffs to breathe in now. He can just continuously do it. Sure, he doesn't have the stamina or anything like that, since he hasn't fully accumulated the infinite stamina that he should be having, since, well, he's not particularly that strong right now. So yeah. So he does that, and yeah. So when they hit, so that's when God is like, alright, Jesus, I think it's time for us to go down. As he says, alright, Father. As Jesus, all of a sudden, you just hear this holy music from the skies, as Satana, the demons, and Azrael look up, as Satana says, oh, so the big man decides to actually show himself. Jesus, are you here to help us now? As Jesus says, oh, well. If it isn't my little sister. Having fun fighting down here, as she says, you know damn well I'm not. As he chuckles a little bit and says, yeah. Alright then, as Jesus, he hold on. Yeah, sorry. So as he looks at Izuku and he says, young one, please, stop your ceaseless fighting. You've been fighting for so long. Come to heaven with us. As Izuku, for the first time, tries to say words. As he mumbles a little bit, no. As he finally gets a hold of his words and he says, no! I want to go back to the land of the living, to my mother. I want to be a hero. I don't want to be trapped in here watching everyone suffer since I'm not there anymore. As all of a sudden, Izuku's power spikes up, which surprises Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit. As the Holy Spirit itself is crying out tears of lava. As God and Jesus are like, what are you doing? As the Holy Spirit says, this boy, he's so pure-hearted. He's so kind-hearted. I don't sense an inch of envy pride, sloth, wrath from him, or any of the 7 deadly sins for that matter. He's just too kind. He might as well be one of us. As the two are surprised hearing this from the Holy Spirit, who is basically the embodiment of all 3 of their kind-hearted holy attribute, which they said, interesting. As then, while Jesus was out of it, or the 3 of them were out of it, Izuku, he took their blood. And he did the same thing, but really fast, since Jesus did not manipulate the rates again. Well, he did. He did when before stuff. So he thought that, oh, what if Izuku does the same thing he did to them, to him? But this time, Izuku, he made it so that Izuku, his chances of actually succeeding is 0.3,002 zeros. 0.1 and 3 and his chances of failure is 99.300 no 3,000 and god damn it 3,003 nines. As basically Izuku, he takes a Googleplex amount of blood drop from Jesus as he forcibly tries to put inside him. And he's doing this directly where his core is. As he does this, and it was the last drop that he had left, and he did it. As all of a sudden, the brightest light that could ever be radiated from somebody, the brightest, like as bright as God, shine upon him. As Deku, he's been fighting angels, demons. And this was the first time that the angels and demons have actually fought together. As Deku shines, his wings, they expand, getting bigger, 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 bigger. At least, hold on. At least the very number at the bottom, the very number you see at the bottom, the one with 303 zeros, yeah, that size. Originally, his wings, when he was fighting Satana, was at least the size, like each wing was at least big enough to cover at least a universe. As it started covering the galaxies, at least it started getting the size to the point where it could swallow up existence itself. And one thing that they did not notice is when they looked at Izuku, they looked at Izuku's chest, where they looked at, well, his core, to see a hole in it. Not really a hole, but at least the image of a black hole appearing around his back. And in the middle of the black hole was a star. I'll show you what that star looked like. Now, in that black hole is basically this star, but shinier. It's golden. It's golden, as basically they look closely into the star, basically in the middle, right there. As they look closely in the middle, and they saw something that scared them to death, to near death. As they looked inside, as all they saw was this, as they got scared. Absolutely scared. Now, take in mind, now it's not this time that actually they give up. They gave up. Izuku took up the mark as they all retreated. As they said, we'll leave. We can't face him, nor will we ever have the chance to. He's on par with God, and quite possibly stronger. No offense for those who know the God I'm talking about. No offense to that God as well. So, yes. So, they retreat for the remainder 3 million years. As Izuku, he decides to sleep for those 3 million years. He sleeps for those 3 million years because, well, he's exhausted. Like, he is absolutely exhausted. Like, he might as well not even get up. It's he's mentally exhausted and stuff like that. And what he does, he encases himself with his wings. Like, he surrounds himself with his wings. And take in mind, Izuku has almost an infinite amount of wings, and he encases himself with those very wings. Alright? So yeah, so he encases himself with those wings and like into the shape of an egg, and it's an egg with a lot of weight, so nobody's gonna be able to take him or anything like that. And not only that, after encasing himself with the wings, he put chains around himself. He put chains like shadow chains, water chains, earth chains, many elements and chains. As then Izuku, he put a lock on those chains. As the lock on those chains, hold on. Oh god. Okay, finally I done it. So Deku, he does that, and he's in the egg. Alright, he's in the egg. As basically Izuku, what he does is basically he did the whole thing with the Garden of Eden with the flaming sword and the angel. But this time, not just one, but 3 angels, and just 1 sword. As basically, Izuku, on the chains, he put a lock on it. He put an infinite lock on it. And he also put the curse of Cain on it. So, anyone who tries to break it will feel the curse. It even works on God, since, well, he's on par with God. Not that I think that anyone would be a par with God in the future anyways. But anyways, so yeah, so it's basically the star. The lock, it basically looks like the star. There's chains coming from each end. Yeah. So for each big point is the 4 main elements, and for each point is the sub elements for each of them. So like water, snow, fire, lightning, earth, lava, what was and air? I think it was what's the sub element for air? What was the sub element for air? What is the sub element for air? Huh, I never thought of that. I think it's flour. Well, let's just change it. The sub element is flour, alright? So yeah, the flour element. And yeah, it's basically coming from each side, and in the middle it's the infinite sign with the lock on it. And basically Izuku, he's inside of the tree behind the angels. As Izuku, he's just resting there for the next 3 million years. As when the 3 million years are over, the angels, they fly away. As the tree, it lets down Izuku. As Izuku, all of a sudden, the chains, each chain, like, take in mind, like, they haven't felt Izuku's aura in a while since he, well, went to sleep. So, they haven't felt his aura since he went to sleep. Now, take in mind, Uraraka and Mina and Kendo already found out about what happened with Izuku, and they've hated Uraraka and Bakugo ever since. And they hold a passion especially for Bakugo. They know about Bakugo bullying him and stuff like that, but they never knew about what they planned with, like Uraraka. So that made them just hate Uraraka even more. So they won't be friends in UA. So yeah, the whole girls group won't have an Uraraka. So that happens. And that happened. Yeah. So yeah. So Izuku's missing 2 years before UA now. No, no longer 2 years. He's gonna go at 18. He's gonna go at 18. Yeah, he's gonna go at 18. Alright then. I planned it. Alright, it's done. So yeah. Forget the 20 years since we don't have no demons or angels to fight anymore since they all came at the same time with Satan and God. So, yeah. He's gonna go at 18. So, yeah. So Izuku he does that. And his wings like each one starts popping, and as each chain starts popping and breaking, Izuku's power starts getting released. As God starts sensing his power, he says, "Oh, so he decided to wake up, huh? Doesn't matter. It's not like we could stop him anyways." As Satana says the same thing. As they all just proceed with their day. As Izuku just, when it's done popping, now it's time for, take in mind the chain, lock part. I wouldn't say it disappeared. It broke into millions of pieces. As it disappeared afterwards. As on the wings, it starts cracking. It cracks and 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 cracks. As it cracks, the egg starts floating into the air. As each crack has light seeping out of it, a different light out of each crack. As it finally cracks and Izuku, he gets out. As he says, oh, I'm tired. As he says, how long has it been? As he says, I think 3 million years now? 2 million years, not 3, sorry. 2 million years. No. It's been 2 million, it's been 2,998,999 years for Izuku. He says, so I fell asleep for that long, Guess it's time for me to go back. As he looks and sees the roads are going out. As, take in mind, his body made the same changes, like his hair getting black and stuff like that. And the white tips and stuff like that. As Izuku, he just walks through. As all of a sudden, a beep can be heard. And there was a passing nurse. As she says, "What?" As she looks and sees Izuku's heart is beating. As she says, "Doctor, come quick. The patient, his heart is beating." As the doctor, he runs in and sees Izuku's heart is beating. It's going beep, 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 beep. As he says, no way. It must be a miracle. Oh, wow. So, yeah. So, Deku wakes up from that wonderful miracle. And, he immediately wakes up. As his eyes, as the doctor says, "Congratulations for coming back to the world." As Izuku, it says, Now, take in mind, Izuku, he's not exhausted, mentally exhausted anymore, since he slept for that long. So, yeah. So, Izuku wakes up as he goes and finds some clothes. And he just puts it on. He found this regular sweater. this regular sweater and stuff like that. So yeah, he finds this shirt, I want to say white shirt, this black shirt, not gray shirt, yeah, a gray shirt and a black turtleneck type thing. Yeah, black turtleneck and a pair of black would I say jeans or sweats? Not jeans. Pair of black jeans. Not baggy jeans, just a little skinny jeans. Not tight, but skinny. As he puts it on. As the doctor says, just wait here, we'll call your mother. As he says, alright. As he hears a voice in his head that says, yo, kid. And he says, huh? Who are you? As he says, oh, right, you never heard my voice. I'm God. As Izuku says, what do you want? As God says, well, you can trust people without fear now since, well, they can't really hurt you, so don't worry about it. As Izuku, he says, okay, I guess. So, yeah. So that happens, and, so, got the gist. So, how do I explain this? So Inko, she hears that her son has woken up, and she blitzes all the way to the hospital. She blitzes there. Like, she blitzed like a mofo. So, so Inko, she became the Flash at that moment. She said, it is time for me to be a mother again. And she blitzed there. So Deku just waits there, and 5 minutes later, Inko comes rushing in as she says, where's my son? As basically the doctor points at Izuku as Inko, she sees him as she runs all the way to Izuku, hugging him and crying, and she says, my baby boy, you finally woke up. As Izuku, he hugs her and says, hey mom. As Inko says, you've grown up so well. Well then, guess it's time for us to go home. As Inko asks the doctor if he can be discharged, as the doctor says yes, there seems to be nothing wrong with him, so you are more than welcome to take him home. As Inko says, yes, thank you. So, Inko, she got a better job to get them a better house. A better house. So they can live better, to give Deku a better life. So he wouldn't be near Bakugo. So she moved away from Bakugo. She lives near UA, but away from Bakugo. It's kind of like the rich province, where like she lives near Momo and Monoma and stuff like that. So yeah, let me show you what the house looks like. So yeah, so the house looks like this. Yeah, so the house looks like that. And yeah. So Inko, she pull up to the house as Izuku steps out of the car. Now, she's neighbor. She lives between Monoma and Momo. As take in mind, like Momo's parents were outside, just checking the mail, and Monoma's parents were just looking at the garden. As they saw Inko pull up to the drive-thru, and this boy with black hair get out of the car. As they each say, good afternoon, Miss Midoriya, as she says hi to both families. As Momo's parents says, might I ask who this young gentleman is? As she explains that this is her son, who has been in a coma for the last 12 years of his life. As they're like, oh dear. As they're like, oh dear. Oh wow, we never know about that. As Momo's father, he walks to Izuku and he sticks out his hand and greets him with a warm smile and says, hey there, how are you? As Izuku, seeing that smile, just brings him some sort of warmth as he shakes his hand, and but he doesn't show any happy expression. He just shows an expression of worry, or to be exact, not trusting him. As Mr. Yaoyorozu says, well, it seems like he doesn't trust me. As Inko says, well, not particularly. It's not his fault. It's actually has to do with something that happened when he was younger. The actual reason why he went into that coma, or to be exact, it was actually more severe. He was in a limbo state between life and death for the last 16 years. As the wives, they cover their mouths in shock, which makes them feel even worse. As Inko says, please come inside, as he lets the four inside so they can explain, as she says, Izuku, here, let me give you a quick tour of the house, as Izuku says, it's fine, Mom, I'll find my way around, as she says, okay, as Izuku goes and wanders off. Now, Inko, she got, like, the house may look small on the outside, but it's a big house. It has a game room, a theater room, and stuff like that, a work room for Inko, room for Izuku, and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, you know the vibe. So basically they sit down, and basically Izuku takes a hot, steamy shower in the tub. It's a big ass tub. It's a big tub. As basically Izuku takes a shower in there, as all of a sudden he hears a knock on the door. As he says, come in, as he just sees this girl, a random girl come in. I'm not gonna show you a picture of her because I don't got a picture. Your boy don't got pictures. He's too lazy to search up a picture. As this girl walks in, as she says, hi there, I'm your, butler. I'm here to, give you a change of clothes. As Izuku, he says, okay, then you can leave them right there. As he points to a little table next to him. As he says, alright. As she drops it there, then basically, she leaves. Like, since it's not, like, Inko has 10 maids and 10 butlers. Not a big amount, alright? So yeah, so Momo and stuff like that. Momo and Monoma's parents have stuff like that too. So yeah, just they each have 10 maids, 10 butlers. Since their houses are not that big, they don't want that big of a house. So yeah, so Inko, she basically for an hour explains exactly, like, it was like right after Izuku, like, finished, like, taking a shower. Like, Izuku took a 20-minute shower, usually. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a boy, and I possibly, like, take longer than a girl when it comes to taking a shower, because, like, most of you girls in the comments, y'all take showers for, like, 30 to 45 minutes, right? Me, I go from 1 hour to 2 hours. If I feel like it, possibly 3 to 4. I'm serious. Like, personally speaking, like, you may be thinking, oh, you're just being depressed in the water. No, I'm not. It's not that I'm depressed, feeling depressed in the water. Yeah, I feel depressed, but I don't do it in the water. I don't do that. I'm just taking a shower. I'm legit taking a shower. I legit could stay. I had the choice. I would sleep in the shower as well. So yeah, I usually go from 1 hour to 2 hours. I take a long time when it comes to taking a shower, and being rushed when it comes to taking a shower actually pisses me off. Actually, so yeah, so Deku, he takes that 20-minute shower as goes to his room, and he sees a letter that says, he sees a note from Inko that says, here you go, and stuff like that. As basically inside of his room, he sees a lot of presents. He sees exactly, it's been 12 years for Izuku, 24 presents. Alright, 24 presents. And, game consoles. So basically, he has Xbox, PC, Nintendo, and stuff like that. So yeah, so Deku, he just plays there. And for that time, basically, Inko is explaining to Mrs. and Mr. Yaoyorozu and Monoma's parents. Basically, I forgot Monoma's last name. I really forgot his last name. Hold on. Never mind. Hold on. So his name is Nito Monoma. Sorry about that. His name is Nito Monoma. Inko was basically explaining to Mrs. and Mr. Yaoyorozu and Mrs. and Mr. Monoma about what happened to, well, Izuku. As they're hearing this, and they're feeling, and like the mothers are feeling extremely sad because they are feeling like they are wondering, oh my god, oh, he must have been through a lot, and she must have felt worse knowing that her child was, well, near death for nearly 16 years. As Inko explains that the whole reason why she actually got this house was to actually give him a better life, so he wouldn't have to go through the same grief every time he looked at, well, the people who hurt him the most. As they understood, and they said, alright, we should introduce our kids to him sometime. As they said, okay, as they all agreed to that. So the Sunday that comes up, like, take in mind, like, Izuku, he woke up on Wednesday, as like they explained and stuff like that. And the UA entrance exam is about to start. Like, it's kind of like the 10 months period, the 10 months time period. So yeah, like yeah, it's kind of the 10 months time period, as like they're currently like 5 months into it and stuff like that. As Momo, as basically it's Sunday now, as Monoma Nito, that's Monoma's name, the female, Momo and Nito, their parents told them to get dressed. We're going next door to meet someone. As they said, but isn't Mrs. Midoriya there? Why? Who's there with her? As they said, you guys are going to meet her son. No, 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 no. No, don't do this. Don't do this. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. As they said, son. I never knew she had a son. As they each said, it's kind of complicated about what happened. As they said, oh, alright then. Being understandable of what's going on. Because they knew Mrs. Midoriya for the past, the past 7 years. Yeah, 7. Yeah, for the past 10 years. I've known Inko for the past 10 years. So Inko, she came when they were when they were 8. So that's 2 years after Izuku was in a coma, was in that limbo state. As basically they go, as they ring Inko's doorbell, as she says, "Oh, why hello there. Hi, hello there, hello there, Mrs. and Mrs. Yaoyorozu and Mrs. Monoma. Hello there, Monoma, and hello there, Momo." As no, she says hello there, Nito and Momo. As they all said, "Thank you for having us." As they all come in, as Inko says, "I'll go get him now." As basically, Inko, as basically. Inko goes upstairs and she says, "Izuku, can you come down? We have guests." As Izuku says, "Okay." As he gets up, Izuku Midoriya gets up as he goes. He closes the door and stuff like that, as he's gotten used to the maids and butlers and stuff like that, and he forms somewhat of a relationship with them. Not the best, but he forms somewhat of a relationship. They don't hate each other or anything. It's just that, well, he kind of feel awkward since he's never really had maids and butlers and stuff like that the last year. Remember, since he's used to mostly fighting and stuff like that. Since he spent more time fighting than actually living a normal life. So, yeah. As basically, 2 minutes later, Inko comes walking down the stairs and says he'll come. He's coming soon. As they said, okay. As basically the parents start talking, and Monoma and Nito are talking amongst themselves. As basically, moments later, Izuku, he comes walking down the stairs. Yeah, he comes walking down the stairs. While he comes walking down the stairs, basically wearing that same turtleneck. Deku likes turtlenecks. He likes basically dark colors like black and gray and stuff like that. Even though his wings are naturally bright colors, that's the reason why he likes dark colors, because he doesn't have a lot of those. He mostly has bright colors around him, like his wings and stuff like that. And also his horns. His horns are surprisingly a bright color as well, which is kind of surprising to him. Knowing that, oh, he's been doing a lot of blood type things, and his wings should at least be crimson red, which it's not. As then he realized that, oh, it's because of his good deeds or stuff like that, or his kind-hearted nature. So he starts walking down, and he hasn't revealed his wings or the fact that he's an angel or able to counteract God and some stuff like that to Inko yet. Inko knows nothing about this. So, yeah. So, Izuku, he basically goes down as Inko says, oh, he's here. As she basically goes and she brings Izuku to, well, the 6. As Monoma has, as he proceeds to sit down in front of the 6, as Mr. Yagirozu says, hello there, Izuku, it's nice to see you again. As Izuku, he says, yeah. As the mothers giggle a little bit, and stuff like that. So yeah. As basically, Inko, she brings up the ideas about the kids going outside to play, and stuff, or at least going to, well, the backyard, or one of the playrooms, like the game room, or anything like that. As they agree to that, and basically, Inko says, where would you like to go? As Momo says, is there a library? As Monoma says, how about, the movie room? As Inko says, alright then. As basically, they go to the library first for Momo to pick out a few books. So then they go to the movie room and watch a quick show that Monoma usually watches around this time. They finish that as they go outside. And take in mind, yeah, I'm sorry about that loud noise. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My ears hurt too, but we are gonna ignore that. Ow, that shit was loud. But anyways, this is the first time I've actually done a what if for this long, and I have not felt like my throat is gonna start spitting out blood. Alright? So, yeah. So, that happens. And, they go outside. Momo made supplies for them to play, or at least stuff like that. So they're basically playing. So yeah. And Izuku, he's basically drawing. He's basically drawing and stuff like that. Hold on. Hold on. No. Let's see which picture I could find. Alright, I got the paintings. So, basically, they go over to Izuku and they look. As Monoma, she has that cocky attitude and says, what are you drawing? Probably some useless painting. As Momo says, Nito, don't do it, don't say that. As Nito says, fine. Let's see what he's drawing, though. As basically, they pull Izuku, which Izuku gets startled by this a little bit. Even though he saw it coming, he still got startled from it. As basically they look, and they were shocked to look at his picture and basically see this. They basically saw this, as they're like, oh my god. As basically, you see that, and basically Momo said, that's amazing. You should become an artist. So, yeah, as Izuku says, okay, I want to be a hero. So, yeah, that happens, and, we're surprised. I said, oh, alright then. So, as basically, they, they say, alright then, can you make another painting? As basically, he said, sure. 10 minutes later, he says he's done. As they look, and they see this. As they're like, wow, he's a natural prodigy. As the two take the paintings, Momo took this one, Nato, Monoma took that one. As they ran inside, as they said, mom, and stuff like that. As basically, they said, what's wrong? As basically, they hold up the paintings as they said, wow, did you guys draw that? As they said, no, it was Izuku, he drew it. As Inko says, wow, he has a talent for art. He's amazing. As Izuku, he slowly walks in after them. As he says, oh, hi. As basically, Inko says, Izuku, you should be an artist. As Izuku says, no, I want to be a hero. As Inko says, are you sure, sweetie? Because you don't have a quirk. As Monoma says, wait, what? He doesn't have a quirk? As Inko says, sadly, yeah. He was one of the 20% without a quirk. As basically, Monoma says, oh. As Izuku says, it's fine. I'll be fine. As Inko says, alright, Izuku, if you say so. So, basically, I said, alright, as Inko had hopes for Izuku. She hoped that Izuku would actually pass the entrance exam. So, yeah. So, we skip to, I guess, 5 months later. They've been hanging out, and Momo and Nato have gotten a crush for Izuku. Nato started to see Izuku's dominant side, which she kind of liked about him. Which she found hot about him. And she just liked it. So, basically, like, she liked that about Izuku. She thought that his dominant side was sexy, or, well, hot, to be exact. And, yeah. So, basically, So so they do that, and we skip to 5 months later. She likes Izuku's dominant side. Momo likes his kind-hearted side and stuff like that. So yeah. So that happens, and they go. Now the two, they fight over Izuku. Until Momo comes with the idea to share him, as Nato says, fine. So they share. They share him. And technically, I want to say Izuku's bottom, he's a switch. Just like your boy. Your boy is a switch. I don't know how much times I gotta say this, but I'm a switch. Depends on my partner and my mood. Yes, so, yeah. I'm not always a bottom. Your boy's just a switch that does not have any control over his emotions or the people he dates. So, yeah. So, Izuku, he's the top with both of them. Like, so both of them, he's top. Definitely top. So, yeah, he goes to the entrance exams, and basically, like, their parents dropped them off. So yeah, since they were on their way to work, all three have their own companies and stuff like that. Well, Nato's parents are heroes. Momo's parents own that company. Inko owns a company as well. As basically, as Inko, she basically gives Izuku a hug and says, "Have a good day, sweetie," and stuff like that. And you can just go home when you're done. As Izuku says, "Okay." So yeah. So they go. Now, while they're going, Izuku, he looks to the side. He looks to the side, the corner of his eye, as he sees this girl. Like, not exactly looking at him, but he just sees this girl. And immediately when he sees her, he falls to the ground and starts breathing heavily. He's having a panic attack, or anxiety attack. As the two said what's wrong, as they noticed that Izuku's breathing heavy or rapidly. As they said, "Izuku, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down." As like they heard about what happened to him and stuff like that. So they're wondering who's making him feel the way he's feeling at this current moment. As basically the two look as they see Uraraka. As they're like, is it her? As basically they look at Uraraka as Momo. She noticed as she hears that Uraraka, as Bakugo said, "Oh, hey, Uraraka," as Momo says, "Uraraka, wasn't that the girl who..." As Momo, she immediately gets furious. Immediately, as she tells Nito, that's the girl who, well, broke Izuku's heart and got him into the state of limbo to begin with. As Nato, she is pissed. She is immediately pissed to the core. In this one, Mineta and Hagakure will be in 1B, while Kendo and Nato will be in Class 1A. With the other ships, except for Nejire. Like I said, Nejire Hado is a third year. No, not third year, fourth year, sorry. Or was she a third year? I think she was a third year. Yeah, because they weren't seniors at that time. Oh, yep. Sorry. She's a third year. Oopsie. Oopsie daisy. So, yeah. So, yeah. She's, a second year, I guess. She's a second year as basically they're taking the test as Izuku does the test quick. He does the test since, well, he's abnormally smart. He's smart. He's a smart boy. Izuku, he's a smart boy like he is in the anime. You know the vibe. Big brain deku. As he passes that with flying colors. He passes actually 5 minutes after getting the test, which he goes and hands it to President Mike. And President Mike thinking he gave up, but when he looks at the test, he sees that it's done. He doesn't know whether if it's correct or not, since, well, he didn't check the test. It was Nezu who made the test. So he doesn't know, like, what to expect or stuff like that. So he goes to Nezu and hands him the paper, as Nezu says, "Incredible. Who is this young man? He got the answer correctly." As President Mike is confused and says, "What? Really?" As Nezu says, "Yes, he's a genius." As he says, "Wow." As basically, he's waiting in the waiting room. As basically, he sees Momo come out, then Nato. Since in this one, they did not take the recommendation test. And then, came out Shoto Todoroki. As Todoroki went to Momo and said, "Oh, hey, Momo." As Momo said, "Oh, hi, Todoroki." As he says hi to Nato as well, as he says, "Hey, Todoroki." As he asks, "Who's that?" As basically, they said that's Izuku Midoriya and stuff like that. As he said, "Oh, alright then." So, yeah. So that happens, and as he says good luck to Izuku not taking it because he doesn't really need luck. Like, Izuku needs no such thing as luck whatsoever. So basically, he goes and he blitzes it. He does the same. He blitzes it, like he goes ahead in canon and stuff like that. Him and Bakugo weren't in the same place. Todoroki was in the same place with Bakugo at this time and stuff like that. So yeah. So him and Todoroki were acquainted earlier in the series. So yeah, you probably got the gist. So oh, sorry. It's gonna be real quiet real quick because I'm doing this level of this game and I'm being pissed off at it. Finally succeeded. So, so he does that and he blitzes the test. Now, Izuku, he doesn't want to go along, so he's just using his raw strength. Not exactly his raw strength, it's just strength. Not his raw strength, because we already know his raw strength is too much for the test. It could possibly even destroy the whole city, so we can't really have an Izuku going at raw strength at this current moment. So Deku, he does that, and he's punching robots to the point where he gets to at least 1,000 via 3-pointers. Well, 3,000 to be exact. He had to destroy 1,000 of them, and this time the city was actually 10 times bigger, so they could put on more 0-pointers. Because they noticed that if All Might's able to destroy 1 0-pointer, there's obviously gonna be more people that could possibly destroy many more 0-pointers. So they said, all right, then we'll make the city bigger. So they made the city bigger, and yeah. So that happened. The city got bigger, and basically Izuku has 10,000 points. So yeah. So he passes, and he beat All Might's score by exactly how much exactly? All Might got 100 to 200 or something like that. So he beat it by 1,000 something, like 1,000, like 100, like 10 times. I think like 1,000 times or some shit like that. It was 10 times or some shit like that, right? 10 times. Interesting. I think it was like 10 times. Yeah, 10 times. And possibly like 10 times. No, in this one, All Might got 300 points, so Izuku beat it by 10 times. Yeah. As basically he got the letter saying that he beat it like 10 times. He got 10 times All Might's record and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm be leaving it off right here, as he basically explained how how he passed to Momo and Nato, and how he's in class 1A with the two saying the same as well, and they're happy that they're going to be in the same class since, well, they started dating. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been part 1 of, I don't know, I'm still looking for a title for this, so you guys can give me a title in the comments. So hope you guys enjoyed this story. This is chapter 1, which is the struggle to return. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, this has been Lotus What Is out by my little stars. And yeah.